Alright, so this USA Today article talks about a variety of impacts that the 2008 financial crisis had on the US and impacts that still are affecting the country today. To start, it talks about the housing market and how it really hasn't totally rebounded in that there's still a lot of families that um, don't own houses. Uh, so it talks about how um, there's a 15% decline um, of home ownership with people that have children under the age of 18, and that's really significant in just the social implications in that these people are renting houses, are renting apartments, and don't own houses, and because of that, their livelihood is very temporary. So you don't have people staying in one place necessarily for 20, 30 years, but instead they might be moving around. And that's an indication of unstable jobs and people being unhappy with their current employment because they're unwilling to settle down in that area. There's also been a slow job rebound. So it talks about how in the manufacturing market, the job growth hasn't come back in a lot of states. In some it has, but in a lot of them it hasn't, especially in the auto work. So car manufacturing, those unions have really suffered, and because of it, um, even wages, like national average wages, are still down from before the recession. Next, it talks about states spending, and this is really big because it talks about how states had to cut down during the recession and haven't really brought it back. So it talks about how education, there's been huge cuts in education, and that's really significant because you cut education and your schools don't have, um, say, laptops or after school activities or sports. Um, Me personally, in 2000, when I was in middle school, the state of California cut funding so much that they had to cut 3 days of school out of the school year in order to make up for that. So that those are 3 days that the teachers didn't get paid and we didn't have to go to school. And we weren't learning as a result. There are also fewer state workers, and this talks about how a lot of the states are still in debt to the federal government, and because of that, you have states trying to cut costs at any point. So they're not going to be looking to invest in their own state. They're going to be looking at paying back the government, and so you'll have less state programs. Unemployment is like you get less money through unemployment from a lot of states now because they're in such debt from the massive unemployment that was seen during the recession. So, all in all, the United States is still reeling from the 2008 financial collapse, and it's affected uh, people, it's affected government, it's affected business.